Everybody, it's Molly from Projects by Molly, and this week I am really excited to introduce you to my issues list tool. Now, this is historically one of the things I think that has helped me the most manage my own stress and anxiety about a project. Because the idea with an issues list is that you take everything that you're worrying about from your head and write it down. So if you're having a hard time sleeping at night because there's just a lot going on with your project and you don't quite know how to manage it, this tool that I'm going to introduce you to, I hope is going to be a really big help. So if you have not downloaded the tool yet, make sure you go to www.projectsbymolly.com/resource library and download the issues list from there. I'll put a link in the show notes as well. So without further ado, let's take a look. Here is my issues list, and just like the other tools that I showed last week, the issues list template, I give you a sample tab down here below which has some data in it so you can see what it looks like. The tab that you're going to want to use to actually make changes is down here, the issues list template. So that one is blank and ready for you to use. As we go through this lesson though, I'm going to use the sample because there's some good data there. You'll also see the list tab, which is where the magic behind the scenes is set up, so you can use that as well. But on the issues list template, as you can see, this is a list, and it is meant to be, as I mentioned before, a stress relieving tool, so that anything that you are worried about with your project has a home to go, right? So this is not where we're going to track status necessarily. We're not going to count our percent completes like we did with the project plan, but this is where when something goes wrong, where do you write it down? When something else comes up that maybe you hadn't foreseen, you can use an issues list to help track and manage it. So this is a very simple list. It starts with an ID column right here. So this is just a unique number. It can be good if you have a big team and you need to email back and forth. It's nice shorthand to just say issue ID 1 or issue ID 2 as opposed to typing out the whole thing. The next column is a description of the issue. So this should be pretty short, but still descriptive enough so that people know what it's about and what the issue actually is. Then you have an owner column, and just like with the project plan, we try to keep one owner to drive up responsibility, but sometimes you do need multiple, so you can always add a comma and add multiple names. Your due date would be when you're hoping the issue will be resolved, or if you do have a firm deadline, you want to put that in here so you can really track it. Now, this project column, I put this one in here because I work with a lot of clients that are managing a ton of small projects. So for them, they want just one place to put all of their worries in one spot. So because they've got multiple projects going on, they have to categorize each issue so that they know what project it aligns with. Another option you have here is to create one issues list per each project you're managing, in which case you would just add separate tabs and name the tab, and then you could go ahead and just delete this whole column E here. The status column, this is where you're going to say where you're at with the issue, and just like before, it's very, very simple. So just a not started, so I haven't started working on it. If you are working on it, it's in progress. If you're waiting on somebody else, it would be the second one here, and when it's done, it's complete. But no percent complete, just kind of a note to yourself on where you're at. And then we have an updates column. And this one, I really recommend a couple of best practices depending on what tool you're using. I think it's helpful to put in a date and your initials whenever you add an update so you can tell who did what. And then you want to add something that will be a good trigger to yourself so that you know exactly what the next step is. So here it's just, I don't know if we can do steps 3 and 4 in this particular document. I'll ask Jeff tomorrow. So just something that will trigger your mind. You don't want to have, a whole paragraph of updates here because then your list is going to get very long. Thanks for joining me on this tour of my issues list. I hope that you find it really helpful. If you have any comments, please be sure to list them below or send me a DM. You can find me on LinkedIn as well as this YouTube channel. And if you did like this video, please go ahead and give it a like on YouTube and subscribe so that you can get the latest and greatest when I release my next video. Thanks so much and have a great day.